Every season of Gilmore Girls has its attributes, as even the most contentious installment of the TV show has many strong qualities. Gilmore Girls Season 7 has taken a lot of abuse over the years, as it sees Luke and Lorelai separated, and has a marked tone shift compared to the sharpness of the earlier episodes. However, when returning to the season after all these years, the good parts rise to the surface, and it's easy to see that we've been too hard on the final installment of the beloved series. Almost all the best episodes of Gilmore Girls are from the first 4 seasons, but there are still highlights from the final 3 installments that make the series worth sticking with until the end. Season 7 has some hilarious moments, and in some ways, it might be even better than one of the other seasons. This might sound strange, but many of our least favorite aspects of Season 7 are set up by a previous season, and that installment shakes up the series' formula far more than Season 7. Gilmore Girls' 7th season is so hated because of Lorelai and Christopher's marriage storyline. This controversial romance comes to fruition in Season 7. When Lorelai cheats on Luke with Christopher and decides to be with him instead of Luke, it's one of the most devastating parts of the entire series. After Christopher invaded Lorelai's life and stirred up trouble for her many times over the years, it was difficult to accept that she would commit to him instead of being with Luke. Though there was a clear setup for her longtime feelings for Christopher to re-emerge, audiences vehemently hated Christopher because he so often played the villain in both Lorelai's and Rory's lives. Despite this, in many ways, the Gilmore Girls Season 7 Lorelai and Christopher story had to happen. It had been building since Season 1, and it would have been disingenuous of the series to pretend like Christopher could simply fade into the background and things would fall into place with Luke. Lorelai's commitment issues played a huge role in her decision to marry Christopher, as this felt like less of a risk than being fully vulnerable with Luke. This storyline taints Season 7 for many viewers, but it was a logical progression of the plot. The show lost some of its magic after the Palladinos' departure. Amy Sherman Palladino and Daniel Palladino were the heart and soul of the show. There's little question that losing the minds behind the entire show, Amy Sherman Palladino and Daniel Palladino, was a major loss. The behind-the-scenes reasons for the Palladinos' exit come down to several reasons, but primarily stemmed from contract disputes with the network, and the Palladinos not getting what they wanted in terms of budget, resources, and job security, via Entertainment Weekly. While the groundwork had been laid for the new writers and showrunners to step into for Season 7, there was a difference in the energy and writing that couldn't be missed. That it's not uncommon for a series to change hands over the years, and for new showrunners to step in and shake things up. However, for a show like Gilmore Girls, this was especially difficult, since it was such a labor of love on the Palladinos' part, and it stemmed from their specific vision. Even with the same cast and family dramas, the ambition and boundary-pushing nature of the Palladinos' style was what made the series special. However, it was the Palladinos who paved the way for the most controversial parts of Season 7 with the final twists in Season 6. Gilmore Girls Season 6 is way worse than Season 7. Gilmore Girls Season 6 is even more stressful and off-balance than Season 7. Almost every unpopular storyline from Season 7 can be traced back to story decisions from Season 6. This installment of Gilmore Girls is even more different from the rest of the series than Season 7, as Rory and Lorelai spend a good chunk of the episodes apart and in conflict. While the mother-daughter pair had fought before, Season 6 saw them truly estranged, which split the show down the middle. The series thrived when Rory and Lorelai were together, and it's clear that Season 6 starts to struggle toward the end of their fight. In terms of Rory's arc, Season 6 was a low point, as it's so out of character for her not to go back to school and pretend that she's fulfilled by working at the DAR. On the other hand, Lorelai is suffering in the dark as Luke pulls away and treats her poorly because he's trying to navigate his new relationship with April and is unsure how this fits into his existing life. While it's expected that characters will go through hardships and be tested on TV, Gilmore Girls Season 6 takes this to the next level. Lorelai and Rory got perfect endings in Gilmore Girls Season 7. The Gilmore Girls series finale does justice to their characters. While the individual episodes of Season 7 can be debated, it's clear that the series finale was the best possible ending for both Lorelai and Rory. It's arguable that everything in Gilmore Girls had been leading up to the moment when Rory would finally leave the nest and enter the world on her own. Additionally, there was a lot of debate leading up to Season 7 about who Rory would end up with in Gilmore Girls, and the fact that she ends the series alone, choosing herself, is perfect. She's still uncertain, but she's ready to face the unknown. For Lorelai, seeing Rory achieve this milestone and reach this rite of passage is moving, and the fact that the town and her parents recognize her own work as a parent is just as incredible. While her final moment with Luke is rewarding for viewers who had been rooting for them from the start, her real triumph is the acknowledgement of the life she's built in Stars Hollow. Gilmore Girls leaves the audience and characters on a memorable full-circle note, letting us know that they'll be okay and are ready to keep living their lives, even if we won't see it.